Yep.
My name is Lauren Hicks. I am 24 years old and I live in Dallas, Texas. My main occupation is a paraprofessional educator in a functional academic classroom. Basically, I teach high school special needs students. My profession after hours, I'm a scriptwriter with PF Felix here. We have been working on several projects, several scripts, and we are trying to advertise our script out there.
Hi, everybody. I'm P.F. Felix. That's Priscilla Fiona Felix. I'm the author of the Reddington Chronicles with my first book out, The Night Professor. Screenwriting a graduate student with Lauren. That's how I met Lauren. I've been in the tech field for about 20 years. I'm a mother of three. The best thing about working with Lauren is that I could show her my creative concepts and we can weave together some really good scripts.
There's no butting of the heads because it's two different people's ideas.
No, well, yes, when it comes to being creative
Yeah.
and writing our visions in terms of dialogue or exposition or where this particular scene should take place. So reinventing the slug line. We get very territorial. We really do. We have our favorite characters. One of our characters is the Jinn. Lauren will tell you with her facial expressions, do not touch the Jinn. And then for Lauren, if she's writing a particular scene that she's passionate about, and I feel the need to do some editing on her line. I don't care if her skin is white. That's a sister right there. She'll cut my ass off quick. So we have that mutual respect for one another where we're comfortable enough to say, get the fuck off my line and it not be offensive because we're really passionate about what we're writing.
Just as PF said, we sit down, we write. Sometimes we're like, PF, get off my line. We both know that line very well. I have a character I'm currently writing in there right now that speaks to the culture that I've integrated into. It speaks to the knowledge that I have studied for a majority of my life. And what PF and I are really trying to do is send a lot of these messages out there to our readers and our audiences because we're really passionate about these things.
I mentioned the reason I started this is because I found so many writers on LinkedIn that was like, read my stuff. But I'm a writer too. I write my own. So this is the only way to actually showcase people like yourselves to say, hey, we can do something together, but promote yourself. A lot of writers are, you know, this is my vision.
Right now we're starting with our we'll create some democratic process where we vote on whose storyline to work on. When Lauren and I first met, we tried to write with a group of graduate and undergraduate students that were into creative writing. They voted on my project first because it was the most finished. I have a book out, like I said, the Reddington Chronicles, The Night Professor, book one. Lauren has agreed to write with me as she kind of cultivates her story, which I'm not going to talk about out of respect for her. And also, I signed an NDA with her. So that's our democratic process. Like we'll vote like as soon as Bad Games is sold, because we are working with different people like Jermaine Brantley. I can actually give out his name. He was the main stunt for the Black Panther movie. So he's a good friend of Sophia Stewart, who has agreed to be our pseudo mentor, if you will. And we appreciate you, Sophia and Jermaine, for what you've done for us. But this just started. That's why you haven't heard anything, and that's why there's not much to brag about. They're trying to shop around our movie concept.
You guys are partners, but it's not a 50-50. When you're working on yours, she's helping. When she's working on hers, you're helping. But you both have separate projects, right? Is that
Yes.
okay?
So Lauren is working with me on that, but she's still thinking of the movies that she wants to create. The byline will be the person that came up with the concept, and then the other person will be like the freelance screenwriter on that project. That is how we're supporting one another.
That's what I was worried about when I started because I was like, okay, if it's 50-50, what if one person wants to sell it but the other one doesn't? But you cleared it up. That it's whoever's
Yeah.
name's on top gets to say where it goes.
Only fair, right? It's only
Right.
fair if you came up, like I've seen a couple of your films, which are really pretty good. They're very interesting, especially the guy who falls on a lot of bad luck. I can't remember the title right now, but the bald-headed guy that the woman obsesses about, and he falls on a string of bad luck. I get the concept because it kind of mirrors some of the things or the dark things that we're doing in Bad Games, which is our first feature screenplay that we're turning into an episodic project. It involves that kind of negative energy and bad things following good people. But if you came up with that concept and you know how you want the story to go, you have to trust Lauren and I enough to cultivate the story, but you're the majority say. And then when you sell it, we get the percentage according to whatever we
Yeah.
agreed upon as our freelance fee.
But most of mine, to be honest, are concepts because they get changed when filming happens. The reason I got 170 movies is because I go to film, and if people don't show up, I change the script right there because I always want to finish something. So it doesn't, like, a lot of people start a movie and be like, oh, well, the main actor didn't show up. We're going to have to postpone. You postpone, you may never start back up. I keep going. So I alter the script right there. So mine is a script, but it's not set in stone. So do you guys believe in that whole do a concept video, like a scene from your movie, so you have two things to promote, the script and that?
We already have a couple of AI teaser trailers. And in those AI videos, it visualizes some of the concepts that we wrote in our script. EF and I are visually blown away. People that we have shown the trailers to, they were also blown away and they were like on board immediately. Episodic concept that we are trying to pitch.
I do go against Hollywood on that, to where find your audience. I'm my audience. If I believe I want to see it, I'm going to make it. I will be honest that if you make the best thing in the world, there are going to be people that hate it. Yeah, I'm a big believer in, if you have passion for it, that's the most important thing. Because remember, it's just like a book, just like a script. It's very hard to get to the finish line.
Something just to add on what you're saying, Jimmy. PF and I, we disagree over what comes in the script or not, but we always debate about it and in a really healthy way because you don't always get your way in a script. It's what's best for the script, it's what's going to make the money, it's what audiences are going to love.
I'm already amazed of you two being able to work. I'm thinking if you try to bring other people in, it might be like a headache.
Yes, no, I agree now. And I'm Lauren, I'm gonna start, and then I know you can back me up on this, girlfriend, but I'm gonna agree with you now. In the beginning, we really tried this kumbaya, let's work together, let's get everyone paid and everyone famous, and that's bullshit. It doesn't work that way. People get so territorial that we've actually had a friend, and I'm not gonna call that person's name out, pitch our idea to director Noel Swanson, but it's our idea and I have the copyright.
We have tried collaborating with other people, but no one wants to play fair.
Everyone is so, trying to hustle so intelligently that they screw up, and we always catch it.
Hollywood is cutthroat, like it's competition.
Or they take too long to sign the NDA. We can't invite anyone to the fold directly unless they're in a different capacity. Like for example, Jimmy, you produce your own shorts and your own movies. That's a different capacity. You're not just a screenwriter or a writer per
Yeah.
se. You have different multiple we call it resources and attributes. That's different. That is something that we can entertain. But if you were just a screenwriter, no.
Honestly, all I would say is just give PF and I a chance. We are passionate about what we do. We are passionate about our script, and we want to learn and grow.
But do you guys go for like script competitions, or are you just going straight to Hollywood and trying to pitch the script?
Yes, so we have entered into a couple of competitions, of course. You have to start somewhere. Oh, script awards, sorry, my bad. We won Best Student Scriptwriters at the Istanbul Film Festival last year around the springtime. Best TV pilot, best TV pilot. And keep in mind, PF and I had just started writing in December 2023, and this was basically our first script together.
We did the WB access. We made it past what do you call it, their drop of December of 2024. We're just really proud that this was a story idea I came up with when my daughter was 12. I got this idea when she was 12 because she was into anime. She freaked me out by watching Ninja Scroll of all things. And I just wrote it in my entry. I think it was my entry essay into the school that we met at, Lauren. And then I tried to submit it in a competition, and that didn't work out. And when I was kind of embarrassed about it because I'm like, I didn't win a competition, I didn't win this. Let me just read it to Lauren. And Lauren was blown away. She's an anime head. She was actually going to start an anime club until we met. And she's like, I really like this. Like, I really, really like this. And so she kind of got everyone excited about it. And we went from just a silly little idea that I had, like a love letter to mothers concept from my daughter to this now episodic project with Lauren Hicks. And it just, I can't talk enough about it. Like, you can't ask me enough about it because I could talk about it till the cows come home.
You guys believe that the script competitions are beneficial. You want the eyes of somebody in power to read it, and that's what the festivals are for. But if you're making context, then, good for you guys. But most of the people I talk to, they've won awards, their scripts won awards, but nothing ever happens. So if you guys are getting contacts, like I said, that's a plus because it doesn't always happen.
To their credit, to their credit, entering a competition is just like being a straight A student. Yeah, it may look nice that you've got that marker on your, report card that says that you're really intelligent, Jimmy. You're a straight A student, you got 4.2, blah, blah, blah. You could have a great story concept, Jimmy, and you leave it free for the world because I see you don't charge for your videos when I think you should monetize for them because some of them are really, really, really good. They stole it for free and now they're making multi-billion dollars. There's a political side to success that none of us are going to ever be privy to. I will never be privy to it. And maybe Lauren and all her youth will never be privy to it. But that shouldn't deter you from writing the story because I believe that we're the philosophers of the,
Yeah.
entertainment realm. We're educating people on a side of life, like that one story that you had about the guy with the downtrodden guy that's always running into bad luck and he almost died at the end of the movie until
Yeah.
his friend that was shot saved him. There is a part of life that we're the only ones that can engineer and explain to other people. Don't give up because you won a gold star and no one gives a damn. Lauren, jump in at any time, girlfriend, because you always have my back. But I think that's what Lauren and I realized. We were the underdogs. There's no way anyone's going to look at a 40-year-old Black woman from the Caribbean and this young 20-year-old white, girl from Texas and think that they actually can work well together. But I tell you, if you sit in one sessions, you will have a hell of a good time with us because
Hmm.
it's not about egos. It's about how do we make Suri one of our characters? How do we make her a slut, but then also victimize her or make her a better victim? How do we make a blowjob not look like some cringe-worthy sexual act, but an act of romance? I know that's a little graphic, but that's how we do. That's how we get. I want to show a side of the Yakuza without saying the word Yakuza. I want
Yeah.
to show a side to crime that's more demonic and more spiritual than it is literally violence. How do we do that? So we have to debate each other. And I don't care if I get a gold star for that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want somebody to see that one day and be like, is this really what happens? Oh my God. Or be educated or at least be aware that maybe their life is worth living because they're not living that shit. Over
Well,
to
I want to
Monkey.
interject on mine here. The reason they're free is I have too many ideas that I don't want to die with. It's like I literally come up with 5 different stories a day. I could be washing the dishes and a new one comes. And I don't know. I mean, both of you guys are writers, but does it feel when you're like writing something like somebody's actually telling you the story? Because a lot of mine, I'd be honest, I'll be writing and I don't know the ending. So I don't even have a vision for my movies until the editing's done. I shoot it, I don't care. I write it, I don't care. When the editing's done, then I actually see it.
Our writing comes from the heart, and I know that sounds cheesy and corny, but it really does. It comes from places and things that we have been personal witness to, that we personally experience, and it also comes from places that we want our audiences to become aware of. When we write, we don't even feel like we're writing. It feels like we're in an entirely different world, like we've left this world and we've jumped into the writing world.
I'm a spiritual person just by virtue of my culture and where I'm from, right? There's a lot of Africans in the Caribbean. There's a lot of spirituality in our faith. And so when you said sometimes you feel like a voice is whispering in your ear, it could be your ancestor. And the need for you, the reason why you're compelled to tell these stories is because they're on your ass to tell these stories because you're their outlet. It's in your best interest to listen and to execute. When I came up with the story, The Reddington Chronicles, I was told by a fan, her name is V Raven, so shout out to the UK. She's like, your story, it's in Reddington Village in the United Kingdom, right? You just pretended that it was in America. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm an African from the Caribbean. She's like, you're not white? You're not from here? And I'm like, no. She still gave me a really good review, but I could tell she needed time to understand how the hell did I come up with a story that felt so relative to her. So, yes, I believe either an ancestor or something spiritual is taking over you to help you write these stories, to help a philosopher philosophize, to help a doctor come up with a solution that was probably created in
Right.
Egypt several centuries ago.
Well, the only
Yeah,
reason I brought it up is because I actually caught the guy. I was actually at work and I'm writing a script. Nobody was around and I'm pacing and I turned around and I swear to this day, there was an old guy following me that disappeared. Like he was like that movie Always to where they were telling him. And I just screamed, I saw you. But it could just be my wild imagination.
for me, the biggest thing for us is we want these Reddington Chronicles stories to come to life. They're paranormal horror romances, so they're multi-genre. They're very diverse, so they fit all the requirements of what Hollywood will, produce. The only difference is that they are mixed with real mysticism, not that, fake stuff that you put on TV. Not that Wicca's fake. The stuff that
Right.
you try to produce, like American Horror Stories, Give Me a Break, that's voodoo. We feel like our stories come from the heart, just like Lauren said, but there is a little bit of mysticism in it that has spooked a lot of people. I've actually had one witch confess to me that she was questioning why I put that spell in my book. And so that's our stories. That's myself and Lauren. Lauren's the Christian side, I'm more the spiritual side, but we come together as ebony and ivory of writing, and we want to scare the shit out of you. So come and work with us.
Really build off of what PF perfectly said. We would really want some of these movie studios, movie producers even, to give PF and I a chance. And I know that is what Hollywood needs right now is people who are willing to work their butts off and who are professional in what they do 24/7, 7 days a week. Thank you,
You're
Jimmy.
the best.
All right. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.